Hello everyone and welcome back guys to episode 6 of Jamie and I's F1, the unnamed motorsport podcast, where today we're here back looking at the Portuguese Grand Prix from the weekend. Not the greatest race in the world, but still not a bad race by any stretch of the imagination as well. Obviously, if you guys are new around here and you aren't already, make sure you get yourself subscribed to the channel for more Formula 1 sort of podcasts and things like that, where we discuss all things around the world of motorsport as well. But yeah, Jamie then. Initial thoughts from the Portuguese Grand Prix?
It wasn't the worst race I've ever seen. I think compared to the first two, we've got a very high bar. But yeah, I didn't think it was that bad, really. It was obviously nowhere near the first two, as I said. But compared to some of the races we had last season, if I remember back, like Spain was terrible, Abu Dhabi was terrible. This one wasn't that bad. It was like middling, quite average. So, I don't think people were expecting a bad race after last year at Portimao. But unfortunately, these things happen. So,
yeah, I think a lot of people as well kind of forget that most of Portimao last year was also a snooze fest. It was just like the first 7 laps were brilliant, wasn't it? I mean, it's a great track to watch on Saturday, in particular. I know the drivers really love it as well because obviously it is a good challenge. But well, no, I say it's a bad racetrack. It isn't a bad track by any stretch of the imagination. It's just really easy to overtake in one place.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's like sort of like what you have at Baku, where there's like one major overtaking place.
Yeah, but at least at Baku, I mean, you get a bit down towards turn 3 as well, don't you?
Yeah.
And just carnage everywhere because the walls are right there. I mean, I don't think... Did anyone hit a wall all weekend at Portimao? Apart from Raikkonen. No, Raikkonen didn't even hit the wall on Sunday, did he?
Hit his teammate, but yeah, no one hit a wall.
No one hit a wall pretty much all weekend from what we can remember. So, says everything you need to know about Portimao there. But yeah, having a quick recap then throughout the entirety of the Grand Prix. Lap 1, nothing crazy. We sort of saw Verstappen try and have a look around the outside of Hamilton down in towards turn 1. Hamilton very firmly slammed the door on that. Obviously, Bottas had the pole. I think a lot of people were saying Hamilton was going to jump him off the start down in towards T1, but of course, Bottas was on the racing line. He had way more grip. He was always going to be able to hold on to that position unless he completely butchered it. Plus, generally speaking, Bottas he's not a bad starter, is he?
Well, it goes one way or the other with Bottas, doesn't it? It's like he's either gets incredible starts or just falls back like 6 places. So, yeah.
Does he?
I seem to think, yeah. Like,
when?
Back. Obviously, you got the likes of Russia. Every time he qualifies third, he's first by turn 1. That's sort of...
Yeah, but that's a good start, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the good ones. The bad ones... I mean, Turkey was pretty bad last year.
Yeah, but that was, again, that whole race was bad for him.
Yeah,
so I meant more just like start. He's not one of those people where he's not one of those people in my eyes where you just look and think, oh, he might have a bad start this weekend.
I think he might have bad everything.
Yeah, well, he's not... Yeah, I mean, that'll be further discussed, I'm sure, down the line. Welcome to the Sebastian Vettel and Valtteri Bottas hate club, apparently, with Jamie183. But yeah, the lap 1, though, nothing too crazy like we saw last year. We did see an absolute banging move from Lando Norris on Esteban Ocon, round the outside through, I think it's turn 11 and 12, I want to say. The double really right-hander. Obviously, where you go back up the hill and then sort of kink to the right and then sort of properly have the next right-hander back down the hill. That was a really, really good move done by Lando. And I mean, he has just been on it at the start of the year. We'll discuss a bit more about that over the course of the video. And then we get to the end of lap 1. Everything is calm. And then suddenly you see a front wing fly off because Raikkonen, he did confirm after the race, in all fairness, that he'd accidentally changed the wrong setting on the wheel, didn't he? So was having to rechange it again and just crashed into the back of his teammate Giovinazzi. Whether that's true or not, who knows? Maybe he needs to go to Specsavers. But yeah, it created some sort of drama at the end of lap 1. Obviously, somehow Giovinazzi didn't get a front wing down, a rear puncture from that, even I should say. That was a miracle because but Raikkonen obviously front wing trapped under the front of the car, went straight off down at turn 1, and we saw a safety car.
Yeah, it wasn't the best thing you've ever seen Raikkonen do, really. It was, I think Martin Brundle called it a rookie error, which is probably fair. Even though he's, 40?
42?
42?
41?
I can't remember.
Is he 42, 41? Let me find out quickly whilst you keep talking.
Do some individual research on Kimi Raikkonen's age. But yeah.
He's 41.
Fair enough. Obviously, his first lap last year was so good that he just thought he would do one lap this year. And then give up. So just, crashed into his teammate, went off at turn 1, safety car. yeah, that's it. No points.
Well,
also,
I saw a brilliant thing on Twitter from this of, when James May is in Albania and it was just Raikkonen going, "See you in Spain, lads," as he crashed into the back of him and just flew off at turn 1. That did make me chuckle.
That's very funny.
That one, did make me chuckle.
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry, carry on.
On a side note, they lost their protest against Imola's penalty.
Yes, yeah. Because
So
that was sort of
no
announced
points.
quite late, wasn't it? I think that was Thursday they announced that.
Yeah.
Because obviously we didn't mention it in the last podcast.
So no points for Raikkonen yet this season. Or Alfa Romeo, actually. So
Yeah, exactly.
hopefully they can get on it quite soon.
Yeah, I mean, they're not a team that I'm a massive fan of. I'm not desperate to see Alfa Romeo get points. I'm sure they'll scrape one somewhere. I don't think they're really under too much threat from Williams and Haas unless you just get an absolute carnage Grand Prix at some point over the course of the year. But yeah, I think Alfa Romeo will probably score here or there when things go bad enough for a lot of the other teams in front of them. But Portugal was not going to be that race this season round. So obviously that brought out the safety car. Straight away, obviously we had quite a lot more laps than I thought we would behind the safety car. I won't lie. What made me wonder was the fact that obviously you had to go through the pit lane early on during the safety car period, and then suddenly they were able to go back on the track. Surely then they were fine to race again.
It's a strange one. I think we saw quite often at the circuits that are quite old that haven't been used for years. So I'm thinking of Mugello basically. The track clearance took so much longer than it usually should because the roads for the cranes and everything aren't very good really. So
Yeah, but Portimao's not an old circuit.
it is quite an old circuit, isn't it?
It's 2009.
Oh wow, fair enough. I didn't know that. But
Are you thinking of Estoril?
a little bit. To be fair, I thought it was the old one that they raced on in the 80s.
Yeah, no,
That shows
Portimao
my
came
extent
in.
of
I think
knowledge.
it might have been I think it was 2009. I'm pretty certain it might have been 2008. Let me have a look. Portimao, because it got finished like a week before GP2 went there.
Oh wow, fair enough. But yeah,
Let me
these
find
circuits they weren't really designed with F1 in mind. The service roads are so bad, basically. So clearing away cars takes a lot longer than it should do, which is why I think it was out for 8 or 9 laps. It was quite a long time. And yeah, they cleared the debris after 2 laps, and then it was still out for 4 more or something. So yeah, a bit strange, but got to be safe, haven't you? So
Yeah, I've just had a look. Construction was finished in October 2008 and the circuit was homologated by both motorbikes and FIA 2 days before the first event.
So you got a Korea circuit thing where they're still painting the white lines on Thursday before the Grand Prix.
Exactly. Perfect. And still, trying to get rice out of the paddy fields.
Wow.
What? That's where it was built.
Oh, sorry.
What did you think I meant?
Nothing.
Oh no, this has already gone off the rails. Anyway, though, we get back on track then from whatever Jamie's mind has taken him to. Obviously, safety car comes in. Bottas holds everyone on the restart. Well, I mean, he goes and then stops. He sort of went and sort of stopped again, didn't he?
He actually nailed it, to be fair to him. He was like...
No, he nailed it in the end. I'm not taking that away from
assumed he was going to go right to the line. I thought he was going to go right to the line to get rid of the switching effect. Obviously, Hamilton thought that as well, you'd imagine. So going early, or holding a bit and then going early up the hill, actually worked really well because Hamilton was quite ready for it. So to be fair to Bottas, that's one thing he did quite well this weekend.
He timed it to perfection. I'm not taking that away from him. But if you notice, I think it was through the penultimate corner. It kind of felt like it was, again, it didn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. But I think he tried to put heat into the rear tyres by hoofing it. And then I think Crofty and Brundle already started talking that the race had restarted. Yeah, and then he just kind of slowed down again. Because obviously you had them discussing about how obviously you can't accelerate and slow down. As you had Bottas's speedometer just slowly creeping up as he rounded the final couple of corners when he's clearly going at some point. But yeah, no, he definitely nailed the restart. Hamilton did not, on the other hand, and Max Verstappen got straight past him back down to T1, which I was cool. I wasn't quite surprised by.
I saw an interview with Hamilton afterwards. He was really frustrated with himself because it was a pretty stupid thing to do. He basically went defensive, which meant pulling out of Bottas' slipstream. Verstappen then has a slipstream effect, just goes straight on the outside. Really good move from Verstappen, actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, Hamilton, a little bit of a mistake there. I'm sure he wasn't happy, but he made up for it later in the race. So
yes, he certainly did.
Over it.
No, exactly. And I mean, like we said, obviously that happened on lap 11, and then he got past got back past Max not long after that, was it at all?
No, not at all. It was I don't know, as a Verstappen fan, I'm supporting him during the races. It was a bit frustrating seeing the gap just sort of stay about 9/10. Verstappen was just sort of like towing Bottas, but couldn't really get close enough to pass because of the straight line speed. I think Mercedes had a bit extra this weekend, which is a bit annoying. But then, the one lap, he made a little mistake. He got wheel spin out of turn 14, and straight away, no DRS then. He was like 1.0 something out of the range. And then, obviously, with the better exit, Hamilton was able to breeze past him on the straight, which is, a bit frustrating for me. But it was a fair enough move from Hamilton. Verstappen made a bit of a mistake. I'm sure he will be frustrated with that. And it was a bit annoying to see Hamilton just have a better race than Verstappen this weekend, which is annoying. But then it goes both ways. Imola, Verstappen was well on it, so it was swings and roundabouts, wasn't it?
Exactly. It's going to be a year of swings and roundabouts, I think it's fair to say as well. Obviously, like you said, Hamilton got to the inside in towards turn 1. I was quite surprised, to be honest. I was expecting Max to... I mean, he defended it, but I'm surprised he didn't force Hamilton to the outside even more aggressively than I think he tried to.
I think either way, he was probably going to lose the place because...
Yes, exactly.
We saw so many times people going the inside or the outside pretty much had it either way.
Yeah. And I think, again, I think Max and Hamilton are sort of learning what they can and what they can't get away with. I'm sure, obviously, if this championship battle does continue to heat up, both of them will try and sort of push it to the absolute limit with each other. And I think, obviously, last week, whether it was an element of last weekend, obviously, where you had that lap 1 incident, if you can even call it that, between Hamilton and Max, whether this time around Hamilton decided I'm going for it.
Inside,
Exactly, I'm having the inside, whether you like it or not, mate. Or not. I mean, they'll only know at the end of the day, and it's all psychological for those guys. But obviously, it didn't take much longer after that. Obviously, Hamilton got past Max. I think then he got Max out of his DRS pretty quickly as well, didn't he? Because they both dropped to like 1.5 behind Bottas. Hamilton then does what Hamilton does and just slowly closed up to the back of his teammate. And then did, arguably, I want to say, the best move of the day. Would you agree?
It was definitely the best one that he did. It was better than Verstappen's. The one on
Verstappen. I think the one on Lando did on Ocon was very, very good as well.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be a toss-up between those two. But obviously it was so close through turn 1 between the pair of them. Again, obviously there's probably a little bit of Hamilton fanboy deep down in me that thought it was... I mean, I was panicking at the time.
Yeah, I thought
I'll be honest. The camera angle wasn't great through turn 1 if you don't like heart attacks. It certainly got the suspense up even more.
Yeah.
There, but Hamilton got round.
Thinking Bottas would ever crash into Hamilton's pretty naive, really. But
yes,
it was a good move. It was a very good move from Hamilton. Obviously, no team orders or anything, so that was all just driver ability, which Hamilton clearly is far clear on Bottas. So got into the lead, never really looked back.
Exactly. For Hamilton, that was pretty much the end of his race, wasn't it? He just did what he needed to after that and slowly pulled away. Then I think it was about lap 26, I want to say. Max Verstappen, the first of the front runners to make his stop. Obviously, they all started on the mediums. They were all going. They were all going in onto the hards, weren't they?
Yeah.
To the end of the Grand Prix there. So obviously, Max made that pit stop, had a good out lap. Obviously, Mercedes got Bottas straight in because he knew he was within undercut territory, and unfortunately for Bottas, realised he had a lead foot on as he came back out.
Yeah, he gave it a bit of welly in the exit of turn 3. Obviously, cold hards are always quite hard to get warmed up, but
that's why they call them the hards.
That's why they're hard tyres, exactly. Especially when they're C1s as well. They're literally the hardest tyre available.
Oh yeah, they were not good, were they?
Yeah,
everyone was saying.
Being pretty stupid, really. He's usually quite good in low grip situations. Actually, no, he's not at all.
Oh yeah, someone said that, and I was like, we literally watched him last week.
The commentators say that he's good in low grip all the time, and then you see Turkey, you see Imola. He's just terrible, isn't he?
Yeah.
But, it was very daft, and then obviously Verstappen got him quite easily with DRS down into turn 5, the hairpin.
Yeah.
So
and Bottas didn't even defend it.
No, I mean
he just let him go to the inside.
Too close behind, I think. But yeah, that was pretty much the end of the fight in the top 3. The first half of the race was good. Second half was,
very much.
So we've seen it plenty of times before.
Exactly. So I think after that, I mean, we sort of just had this race unfolding behind. Obviously, you had the likes of Carlos Sainz obviously going backwards towards the end of the Grand Prix, obviously, where Ferrari they just butchered the strategy, didn't they? There's no other way of looking at it. Yeah, exactly, yeah. It was not the best day in the world for Carlos Sainz there. when all was said and done. I mean, you had Perez as well, having a pretty quiet day of it. I mean, they left him out on the mediums for about 6 days.
53, yeah. 53
lap 53. And then, no, they did put him on the softs, didn't they? Because I thought they were going to do that with Ricciardo as well down at McLaren. But they put him on hard still, even though he'd done like 40 laps on the mediums.
Yeah, that was a strange one. Or the even worse one, I don't know if you noticed, Stroll actually did 40 laps on softs and then went to mediums.
Yes, yeah.
Which was very strange, but you never know. With
exactly,
Martin,
yeah.
Really.
Who knows what's going on down there at this stage of the year. And I mean, yeah, further back, like we said, I mean, you had Daniel Ricciardo did a very, very good recovery after his awful Saturday.
He was, I think, 11th by the end of lap 2.
Yes, yeah.
Impressive.
Watching that qualifying lap by Ricciardo, although there were mistakes, it didn't look like he'd lost a second anywhere, did it? It was really
Norris
strange.
Was just on it. I feel like a lot of the new drivers are struggling with their new cars.
Well, like Lando said, though, he's been focusing a lot more over winter. He's been putting the work in, and it is paying off.
You see each year, there's been quite a big step of improvement from Norris, like over the winter. Whereas usually you see, if I'm thinking like someone like Charles Leclerc, you often see them get better throughout the year. Like Norris just seems to smash it out over winter, turn up to race 1, 2, 3, and absolutely smash it, and then sort of keep that level of performance all throughout the year.
I was going to say, I think that was partly down to McLaren as well, wasn't it? Because this is what I got a bit worried about early on in the weekend. Obviously, we saw the likes of Alpine, which again, obviously we'll mention in just a moment. They had a really good weekend. But obviously, McLaren was saying they were a big threat this weekend. McLaren were actually saying Q3 might be a struggle to get both cars into.
Well,
but
right, weren't they?
Come race day, though, Lando Norris was still comfortably the fastest non-Mercedes Red Bull car.
Yeah.
On the track. I mean, he only finished 4 seconds ahead of Charles Leclerc, who was your pick for a podium. Not sure how you feel about that now.
Leclerc was like 15 seconds off the podium in the end?
No, 30. Well,
no,
20.
30.
20 seconds,
okay,
and the guys in front have made an extra pit stop.
No, Perez hadn't. Perez only did one.
Yeah, but Bottas did.
Oh wait,
Bottas was on the
fourth,
podium.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you never know.
Carry on,
who
sorry.
did you pick for a podium? I can't remember.
I said Hamilton, Verstappen, Perez.
Oh,
so I wasn't as far out as you, was I? I was 6 seconds out.
Yeah, fair enough. I'll let you have that one.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Alpine, though. Finally, a weekend where they've seemed to have turned it around a bit, found something more in the car.
Yeah, it was... I don't know. I followed Renault very closely while Hulk was there.
During the Hulkenberg era.
Yeah. They have weekends like this where for some reason they show way more pace than other weekends. They like to get your hopes up loads, and then the next 3 races they finish 15th every week again. So,
I was going to say, you're almost trying to comfort me as an Alpine fan, but I don't know where you've got this idea from.
Yeah, well, I just remember 2019 that happened very often, where there'd be one race where they were comfortably the 4th fastest car.
Well, power, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then the next race they were back out 7th or 8th. So,
yeah. I mean, they're the only team now using Renault power.
Yeah, they are, which is quite incredible.
Kind of weird when you think about it, isn't it?
When back at not long ago, I think there were 3 or maybe 4 teams. Definitely 3.
You had McLaren
and Red Bull.
Red Bull and AlphaTauri at one point as well, weren't they?
Yeah.
But there was no overlap between AlphaTauri and McLaren.
Yeah, it was only ever 3.
Yeah.
But still.
So yeah, I don't know what Renault were thinking back at base, because they're obviously now spending a lot of money and no one else is buying their engines anymore.
Yeah.
Which is again a bit weird, because they're not bad by any stretch now, are they?
No, they're not terrible.
They're just not great either. You just the thing is, you Mercedes are the benchmark engine still, whether you like it or not.
I'd probably say Honda are next.
Honda then have got a lot of potential still, because they were a bit newer. Ferrari you're locked into buying Ferrari engines forever, apparently.
Yeah.
If you're Alfa Romeo or Haas, Haas is basically last year's Ferrari, which is why they're struggling.
Yeah.
But yeah, then sort of Renault are just there. If I was setting up a new Formula 1 team,
they've probably got engines going. You get a cheap rate, wouldn't you?
Exactly. You'd hope
F1
so.
2020, my team. You always pick Renault.
Exactly. I didn't actually. I did pick Renault. I was going to go Honda, but I went Renault in the end because everyone else went Honda. But completely beside the point.
Yeah.
Let's be fair, but still. Further down the order though, I mean, looking through, it was kind of one of those races where you look at it and think there's no major surprises anywhere particularly. I guess obviously you could say Sainz a bit further down than you probably should have been. Pierre Gasly getting that point for AlphaTauri. AlphaTauri had a very quiet weekend. I think, like we said pre-podcast, I think now we'll start to see if Alpine have made this progress that we should see from them for the rest of the year. AlphaTauri might have to scrape a few points here and there, and probably going to be battling Aston Martin a lot more.
Yeah, and Tsunoda really wasn't impressive at all. Like I think.
Yeah, Tsunoda had a very quiet weekend.
He got
I think obviously
9th in Bahrain, and then hasn't really done anything since.
Well, obviously Imola last time out he binned it, so I don't know whether there's still a bit of confidence lacking for him. I mean, it's a difficult track as well. This one.
He said he'd never been to this track before either, so that probably played something into it.
Exactly. Bless him.
Yeah. Gasly,
but yeah,
as good as he could, but 10th is a little bit disappointing after running in the
yeah.
top 5
This is what we
season.
said, wasn't it? Obviously, AlphaTauri really had 2 big opportunities to score points early on, and maybe now they've wasted them for good this year.
They definitely should have more points in both races.
Yeah. You never really know. But yeah, I mean, looking down the rest of the order, though, people were praising the Lord for Sebastian Vettel after we mentioned it last time, 15 times in a row without a Q3 appearance. He gets it into Q3 and then had a pretty nothing race.
Yeah. He actually was worse than Stroll, but they ordered Stroll to let him through in the last lap.
Did they actually order Stroll, did they? I know it was close between
they
them
swapped
towards the
over
end.
because Stroll had a chance of catching Giovinazzi for no points. So they swapped them over and then swapped them back when Stroll couldn't get him. But yeah, otherwise it would have been 14th for the second best driver on the grid according to many people. So
yes, yeah. Second best still? Are people saying that?
Apparently, 4-time champion.
Behind who? Behind Hamilton?
Yeah, behind Hamilton, obviously.
Right, okay. Yeah. Right. The less we go into that, the better. I mean, yeah, then George Russell. People,
Absolutely
again,
terrible.
Well, no, it wasn't his fault, though, was it?
He was good. He was good in quality.
Exactly. People seem to still believe this Williams is now like a midfield car when it is on 1 lap pace, but get it over a race distance and it's just still horrendous.
Yeah, especially
as proven by the fact Schumacher beat Latifi.
Yeah, Latifi had a really poor one, but at least he wasn't Mazepin, so people don't hate his Latifi as much anymore.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, people now love Latifi because he was swearing at Mazepin on team radio after quali, wasn't he? I didn't think it was humanly possible for Nicholas Latifi to swear. I didn't know like
Canadian.
it was
They're all too polite.
Well, not even that. I just thought like he's not really programmed like a normal human, is he? He's kind of like some weird PR thing that just never gets noticed. He's just really strange. Like you just don't know he's there.
To be fair, I can't picture much about Nicholas Latifi, to be honest.
Yeah, like no one can really say much about his junior career, particularly. You can't say like he's done some funny thing on social media. The only thing anyone's associated with him is Nutella.
Really?
And even that, he did like 2 things with Nutella.
Hey,
because it was like World Nutella Day or something.
I think we have.
Have we?
Spa 2018. Yeah,
did he win? Did he? I thought Nick de
race.
Vries dominated that weekend.
He won the sprint, Latifi. There's a bit of fun fact.
Let me have a look. Have I genuinely watched Nicholas Latifi win a Grand Prix?
Yeah, well, a Formula 2 race, not quite a Grand Prix.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he did! By 10 seconds! He beat Lando and Alex. And Nick de Vries. Oh, Latifi's my new GOAT of Formula 1.
Yeah, he's clearly the best. He beat Lando. Lando's third in the championship.
Exactly.
If Latifi was in a McLaren, he'd be second.
He'd be second in the championship. He'd be beating Verstappen, confirmed. But yeah, yeah. I mean, then obviously you had Nikita Mazepin with his interesting moment with Perez. Just
being Nikita Mazepin, really.
Yeah, again, I think a lot of drivers have done that before and they didn't get that much hate for it, but it's Nikita Mazepin, so clearly it was...
It
wasn't good by any stretch.
It wasn't good at all. But it's like, I was kind of going to the season with a clean slate. I didn't want to have a grudge against Mazepin for what I'd done before. Obviously, it's bad, but, forgive him and move on, but whatever. This first 2 races, he's been genuinely awful.
Yeah, it hasn't been great, has it?
Yeah. Not great for Mazepin. He finished a minute off of Schumacher in the end.
Yep.
So, yeah, not the best weekend.
Not great, but better than it has been.
I'm just extremely worried what happens when he gets onto Monaco.
Oh god, yeah, don't. That Haas is going to be a handful.
Yeah.
That is not a picture I want. That is, just not something I want to imagine.
I think
just
the worst thing that could happen is, say that there's an early safety car or something. He's going to stay out, and there's going to be people behind Mazepin.
Oh, don't! I don't even want to think about it.
That would be so funny, but it would be awful.
I don't even want to think about that, man, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, rating that a 10 then for the Grand Prix, Jamie. If like Bahrain and Imola were like a solid 8.5 and 9 each, are we saying a 5?
I'd probably go for a 5.
Yeah.
It was about average. People think because the first 2 races were good, we're going to get that every time.
Every single race is going to be
coming
fireworks.
up. We've got the likes of Spain, we've got Baku, we've got France. Like
Baku will be
get your
probably.
expectations down.
Yeah.
Spain's going to be worse than that. I can guarantee Spain will be worse than that race.
Exactly. I was just about to mention Spain. Yeah, unless it rains, and even that doesn't Does it rain at Spain very often?
I don't think so, but it could.
No, I'm going to say I'm trying to remember the last time I saw a wet Spanish Grand Prix.
Would have been when Schumacher won in 5th gear or came second.
So 1996.
Yes.
which I didn't watch, and neither did you.
No.
So yeah, because that was the only one I could think of. Has there
Yeah.
been a wet Spanish Grand Prix since then?
I can't.
I don't
think
think
of
there
any. I don't think
has.
there has. Which is surprising. It's held in May in Europe. You think it would rain at some point? Like,
You'd hope so.
yeah, maybe this is the
Yeah.
time.
I genuinely don't think there's been a wet Spanish Grand Prix since I started watching Formula 1 in 2007.
Or since you were born.
Or since I was born, I don't think, yeah. That's kind of mad, isn't it? But yeah, I mean, last thing we must discuss, we completely forgot to talk about that as well, was the fastest lap bonus point controversy.
Oh, yeah. Well, it wasn't really controversial.
Well, it was according to Helmut Marko.
Well, yeah, but, you know, however, don't listen to him.
No, exactly.
Like, Verstappen, I think they're a bit annoyed at Red Bull. I think Christian Horner said it at one point. Obviously, the first 3 races this season, Verstappen's now lost a win, a pole, and a fastest lap because of track limits, which my first impression of that would be stay on the track then.
Well, exactly, yeah. It does beg the question, doesn't it?
Since Bahrain, it's been the same for everyone. So, if Hamilton and
Bottas
stay on the track in qualifying, why can't Max?
Exactly. And then talking about how the rules change each week, like, are we just saying
they're the same
white
for everyone,
lines?
even if they change?
Yeah, if they're the same for everyone still, it kind of like I saw. Obviously, I think Helmut Marko had said, didn't he, that Max, like, he lost the pole position, therefore he must have lost the race victory, and then he also lost fastest lap. And like someone quote retweeted him on Twitter going, if there'd been a wall there, he would have lost a wheel.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
what do you want?
Stay on the track. He's going to crash into a wall in Monaco and be like, Helmut Marko be like, oh,
if Monaco was a flat tarmac Asda car park, he would have been fine. Yeah, it's the same for everyone. How difficult does it have to be?
He's a bit mental, Helmut Marko. I think you can't take everything he says with a pinch of salt.
I don't even take it with a pinch of salt. I take it with sand in my ears. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I saw someone else's tweet out going, Max Verstappen got the very first track limits triple crown, where obviously he lost fastest lap, race victory, and qualifying pole, through that, which I thought was quite funny as well. But yeah, that meant obviously Hamilton had a bit of a skewed race victory. He won by 29 seconds. Again,
it was about 8 or 9. Anyway.
Yeah, it was about that, wasn't it? But I mean, it meant Bottas got the fastest lap bonus point, which does now mean if Hamilton finishes second behind Max next weekend, he will still lead the championship. If I'm not mistaken. He's got 8 points, doesn't he? So Max needs pole and fastest lap, and then it'll be tied. So Hamilton will still have it because he won a race earlier.
Is that true?
That's how it works. It's whoever wins. If you're on the same amount of race victories, it's whoever won the race earlier. Or the same amount of results,
Same amount of results, yeah. It'd be 2 first and 2 second, wouldn't it?
Exactly.
In this hypothetical situation we just made up. So.
Exactly. This will be when Bottas wins next weekend.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Talking about Bottas winning next weekend, then look into the Spanish Grand Prix. Again, as you probably already gathered, neither of us are massively hyped. I mean, we'll both watch it, but it'll be 90 minutes of my life I probably won't get back. But I'm willing to accept that.
Hopefully. Exactly.
Not sure how you're going to manage that, but fair play, Jamie. Yeah, Spain predictions then for your top 3, Jamie.
Top 3.
Let's do qualifying because it's back-to-back race weeks. Let's do qualifying and race top 3.
Okay.
Normally we just do race.
Qualifying, I'm going to be so pessimistic. I'm going to go for the points this time. I'm trying to beat you. I'll go Bottas, Hamilton, Verstappen.
Okay.
Qualifying. And the race, Hamilton, Bottas, Verstappen.
Right. Fair enough.
The most boring top 3. I think they set the record actually this weekend.
Yes,
for
the most combination.
Podium.
Yeah,
which has happened 15 times, and I'm pretty.
Yeah, I thought it was 16 now, wasn't it? I thought they beat the old record that was Hamilton, Rosberg, Vettel of 15.
Yeah, but
you might be right though. Yeah,
Hamilton. Yeah, they've shared a lot of podiums together.
They certainly have.
Yeah, it'll probably continue. We'll get well over 20 at least by the end of the season.
Yes, definitely. Oh, definitely.
Yeah, still 20 more races. It's just mental how long this season is.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a long one.
What are your predictions?
I'm going to go Hamilton, Verstappen, Bottas, qualifying and race.
Oh, nice one.
I'm expecting an absolute snooze fest.
Yeah, you've got your hopes high.
I really, really do. But yeah, let us know your thoughts and feelings down in the comments below, whether you're hyped for the Spanish Grand Prix. If so, when you're getting yourself checked out.
Yeah, book your doctor's appointment first.
Exactly, yep. First of all, make sure you get that sorted. as well. Obviously, any other things to mention, Jamie?
Don't think so. That might wraps us up.
Yeah, I think, yeah, nothing more to talk about. Thank you all so much for watching nonetheless. If you have enjoyed, do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed as well. And yeah, we will be back next week, ready to review the Spanish Grand Prix. I'd almost forgot the name. It's going to be that boring.